Okay, just to play devil's advocate here, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if there are so many openly proclaimed uh, black colleges in the United States, and don't you think that if we had white colleges, it would be racist?
Well, we have exactly 0 black colleges in the United States. We have HBCUs, which are historically black colleges and universities, but today they're open to everyone. But I would argue that even now we do have white colleges. It's just that we don't call them that because they're the norm, not the departure. They align with the original paradigm for universities and colleges in America. They were exclusively white. So now, they essentially are. There are a lot of colleges who essentially are white colleges. We just don't call them that because they don't need that qualifier. But the truth is that, but for legal segregation and subjugation, we wouldn't have had a need for HBCUs. Basically, it was our white supremacist government's creation of legal segregation and subjugation that created the need for HBCUs. Without that, HBCUs wouldn't have existed. Basically, racist white people created HBCUs, not blacks looking for exclusivity. I mean, from the founding of America's first university, Harvard, in 1636, until the opening of the first HBCU in 1837, basically every college or university in the United States was essentially a white college. Blacks were not allowed. For example, in around 1945, Princeton finally integrated, but that was 200 years of it being an exclusively white institution. So contrary to what a lot of people believe, HBCUs weren't created to sort of celebrate blacks and black culture. They were originally conceived as a resource for black Americans who wanted to get a college degree but were excluded from these conventional institutions of higher education. So, through though HBCUs were created for blacks to attend, their goal was never to exclude white people. In fact, today HBCUs have an average non-white student enrollment of about 24%. And there are several HBCUs that have black student bodies that are as low as 9%.
Well, that sounds low.
Yeah, I think there's one, Bluefield State. They have a striking 80% white student population. So you'd be surprised to see the demographics of some of these HBCUs. But now compare that to our leading universities, Harvard, Princeton, and Yale. They have 14% and 7.2% black student population, respectively. And that's including foreign blacks, not just African Americans. So, and meanwhile, you have schools like, the University of Wisconsin-Platt. They have 90% white student enrollment. There are schools with 83 and 81%. I know at BYU has 80% white student bodies. So, and then there are Christian universities and some Jewish universities that have 99.9% white student bodies. So
I do believe that.
Yeah. So we do essentially have white colleges. We just don't call them that.
Okay.